Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we have the Elite Series 109 Baley. Getting a good look at the semi-fucked up packaging here. We've got a pretty nice little bit of box art, the standard. Almost got all the figures in this wave. Might try to get the Seth Rollins this upcoming week, I don't know. We'll have to see when it comes to my work schedule, because there is supposed to be an indie wrestling event happening in my town, and I would love to go see it just because of one person in particular, if I'm going to be completely honest. But that's besides the point. Maybe if I do end up going, I'll show you some little clips and stuff from what I got to see of it. But with that all being said, of course, we've got the Elite Series 109 Baley mock. Whether the package is a little messed up, I don't know. But we're taking her out of the package anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, see you guys here in a little bit once we've got Baley out of her plastic prison. Of course, now that we've got Baley all up out of the plastic prison, we can go over the figure and all of her accessories. Of course, when it comes to accessories, two of them are on the figure already. You've got the Batista thumbs up, thumbs down hands, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Maybe the slit throat Undertaker taunt hand. Whatever the case may be, you can definitely do it with this thumb hand. Pretty nice little sculpt too, of course, on a black peg, just to take a quick little gander at it. Nothing too fancy about it though. Of course, her alternative hands are mic holding or weapon holding hands. Same ordeal on a black peg, all nice and beautiful when it comes to that. And she does come with a really nice cloth accessory. Of course, it is a damage control shirt with her Baley. Her Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Don't know why I went to go call Dakota Kai Baley, but anywho, that is pretty much all you really get when it comes to this figure. Nothing too fancy except for the cloth shirt. Now, of course, when it comes to the attire itself, this is the first Baley I've owned, so I don't know how good her other figures are. Can say I do like the Survivor Series blue one. I just didn't really care for the head scan on it, so. But when it comes down to this one, of course, this is a damage control specific attire. You've got damage control here on the side. To see the image in full, you can move her little belt thing up and down. It is its own separate sculpt. And I'm assuming that says damage control in Japanese, maybe. I'm not exactly too sure, as I don't speak it, as you can tell. And of course, the attire itself, going all the way around, has a really nice red, black, and gray look to it, with a half white, half black boot, which is kind of unique. I don't think you really see that too often with wrestlers. Of course, Baley's figures are just fairly unique in themselves, because they tend to give her the basic boot mold. Like this can't even ankle rock. At least it can articulate, but that is just kind of weird. So, continuing on that trend with Baley, but of course the double jointed knees are fairly nice. Can't complain too much there. The one side is a tad bit smoother than the other though. She can pose around pretty well. She can do a pretty nice super kick if she wants to, because she is on ball joints. Her upper thighs are a little tight to move, but you can move them. She's got the upper thigh cut. If you move the belt around enough, you can see she's got a little gap in her waist there, but waist articulates like it should, so no problem there. Upper half is a little loose, but of course got the upper half articulation, the rib articulation, I guess you could say, kind of more like an AEW figure here when it comes to the women's figures. And of course you got all the fancy bells and whistles when it comes to the double jointed elbows and all that good fancy stuff that they're doing nowadays. Can't really complain as far as the articulation goes, though that that boot mold is pretty annoying, and I will say the belt just casually flying all over the place is pretty annoying as well. But yeah, not a bad Baley figure at all. I definitely do like the head scan. Taking a nice look at that, you've got the half red, half black hair. Nice sculpt on that too, especially with that top half technically being its own like separate piece, though I think this might have needed to be glued down a bit more, but that's for your own interpretation, I guess. I don't know if she is wearing a bit of makeup there, but nothing too much. I wouldn't know what to call it either, so don't ask me. Maybe it's like a wing or something. But with all that being said, why don't we get her posed up and we can go over how I feel about the figure. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got Baley all posed up, we've got the rest of Damage Controller, well, what I own of Damage Control, sitting here alongside her. Sadly, don't have Kairi Sane, but maybe one of these days I'll track down that one Elite figure she's had. I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm gonna try to keep this one a little short and sweet. The figure, it's good. It's not too bad. But that basic boot articulation is definitely a problem here. I'm not gonna lie, for a quick second there, started getting a little too overheated and a little lightheaded, so I just turned on my AC. It's probably the heat of New York along with the fucking lamps and shit mixing. It's definitely not great. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, haven't mentioned it, I do live somewheres in New York, so well, keep that out of mind because I'm not going to talk about that too much. But with this being said, you know, the figure is really good. I don't like the basic boot articulation though, as I do find that is kind of a problem. Of course, most of her teammates here do suffer from the same little problem here, so I don't know exactly how to feel about that. But when it comes down to it at the end of the day, still not a terrible Baley figure to get. Maybe just find a pair of boots that you could swap that aren't basic articulated, but good luck with that, as I don't really know many women's figures that do have that. Of course, at the end of the day though, what would I rate this on a scale of 1 to 10? Having it in hand definitely is a bit better than what I thought I would think of this. I mainly got it because I've been seeing this figure skyrocket in price a bunch on like eBay. It was like 30 something bucks at one point on Amazon. I managed to get this for 25, so definitely not complaining here. When it comes down to it at the end of the day though, if I were to have paid the extraordinary price that I just mentioned, I don't know if I'd be too happy with this, but seeing on how it was pretty much retail price, would I rate this on a scale of 1 to 10? I'd have to give this a good solid 8. Mainly just because the basic boot control, that's really not the greatest ordeal at all. I really do not prefer that women's figures get basic articulation in their boots. And of course, I don't know if maybe you noticed it earlier on, but one of these arms has a little bit of quality control gone wrong with it. It's just some paint. I've been slowly chipping at it, but it was a nice big black splotch on there. Almost thought the shirt stained it. So take that as you will. Maybe you might have to deal with that, maybe you won't. But with that being said, I gave it a good solid 8? I don't know, maybe we could say a good solid 7.5, honestly. I think that's a much more suitable rating. And with that, I'd say on a scale of a 1 to 5 star, you know, gotta give them the good old Meltzer rating. On a scale of 1 to Young Buck Match, we're definitely gonna put this on the scale of a 3. Definitely not the perfect figure, but it may not be too bad if you collect the women's figures and you don't mind that. Personally, for me, when it comes to elite figures, I do not want to see that articulation implemented into the elites. But what can you say? What can you do? On that note, though, we're going to start getting this video out of check. So if you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you did not like the video, womp womp, I guess. I'm just thankful that I didn't get too dizzy and like pass the fuck out or some shit. It is fairly hot today, so I'm happy I turned my AC back on because I'm already feeling a bit better now. Yeah, with that being said, if you did like the video though, feel free to go check out some of my other action figure reviews. You'll see up over here in the corner what is coming up next after this. All I can say is that's going to be a fairly fun review. If you already haven't checked it out with the unboxing video, go check that out maybe, and then come back and watch the rest of the reviews from this if you haven't already. Of course, on top of the unboxing and action figure reviews, I do also do pick fed stuff as well. Currently in the middle of working on episode 11. And yeah, I'm super excited about that, and I don't really have too much else to say. If you would like to, feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole spiel there. Maybe go check it out and see if you like it. As far as the last thing though, if you would like to, feel free to, subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe. And with that, we are on the road to 250 subscribers. Been a slow, nice rise. To have 200 subs within 2 years, I feel like that's actually really good for me, just because it's not like I put hard editing time into a lot of this except for the pick fed, and the pick fed does get some good numbers depending on what is going on, because of course some people aren't going to be too interested in watching certain matches, and I totally get it. Of course, for me, though, I have to build my matches based off the stories I'm telling, because I do actually tell little stories with them. I'm not just doing matches that I think are good and kind of fantasy booking who I would put over and stuff of that nature, though I wouldn't mind doing that. I've mentioned that in the past, but the pick fed takes up a lot of time as it is. I'd probably have to take time away from the pick fed just to do a little random one-off match. I don't know, maybe if you're interested in it though, we can get something happening there. With that being said though, we're gonna sign off here, so have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I'm not in your time zone. I just know it's the 4th of July, so happy 4th to you as of recording this. If it goes up later, sorry about that. I don't know what to tell you. It may come out tomorrow. It may not. I'm going to try to get these reviews done today, but definitely going to take a second after this one so I can get some water and just chill out after getting really dizzy there. But on that note, deuces, ooses, bink.